We've been talking about measuring objects by using non-standard measurements such as cubes, paper clips, your hands, your feet. Well, there's another way to measure, and that is by measuring time. So today we're going to start talking about the analog clock. This is the clock that we see in our classroom. You see it in the hallways. It's important to be able to read this so you know what time different specials are, what time your lunch is, when it's time to go home. So today we're going to talk a little bit about this clock. Now, with this clock, it starts at 12. It starts 1 and it goes all the way to 12. There are also different hands. There's a short hand and a long hand, and we're going to get to that in a second. So this is the analog clock. So the big numbers are the hours, or it could be a minute. These little ones tell the minutes in between. But we're going to just focus on these two hands and telling time using those. There's also another clock that is easier to tell the time, and we call that digital clock because it has the numbers. So this would say it was 10:33. So this one's easier to tell the time. The analog clock is a little bit more difficult. So the long hand tells us the minute that it's on. The short hand tells us the hour. So if this is pointing at the 3, the 12 is the beginning of a new hour. So this clock would say that it is 3 o'clock. You can also write it like this. 3 o'clock. Okay. Whenever it's on the 12, it's o'clock. And the hour hand points to the 3. So if it's very important that you remember that the big hand or the long hand is the minute and the hour hand is the short hand, and that always points to the hour. The minute hand is the one that moves around the clock, and when it moves, the little hand is moving slowly as it's approaching a new hour. I found this really fun song that Jack Hartman does. I thought maybe we can listen to it because it teaches us a little bit more about clocks. So I thought that that gave us a little bit more information on the clock. Today is just a review. We're going to get more into it later. So in your packet, you have something that looks like this. I think it's right here, Wednesday, May 20th. It's nice and big. Now, I know we did double-sided, but this is a really cool thing. You can make your own clock. So it has the analog clock 1 to 12. It has a minute hand and it has an hour hand. Now, maybe if you have separate paper, you can trace the minute hands and the hour hands, and then you can move it around on the clock. If you have like tape or if you have something that you can put in the middle to make it spin, that would be helpful. If not, then you can just keep it separate and you can make different times on your clock. Okay? This is a really fun activity, so I hope that you do it in your packet. Have fun.